receive their education at a research university graduate experienced in the most effective methods for discovering new knowledge and creating new inventions. Research and Innovation Week is an annual opportunity for them to share their work and receive recognition for their efforts and accomplishments.
Research by nature often is a lonely activity. Having a week-long series of events provides an opportunity to faculty to talk with one another and listen to other people, and through networking and all that, they get exposed to work of their colleagues, but also work by others outside the university.
Another highlight of Research and Innovation Week for students is the opportunity to meet and learn from successful local entrepreneurs in the St. Louis area.
We thought that having examples of St. Louis-based entrepreneurs was important. We are located in the middle part of the country. Often when people are talking about entrepreneurship, they are talking about Silicon Valley or the East Coast. The reality is that all kinds of real interesting inventions take place in St. Louis.
Our goal really with bringing in these luncheon speakers was to bring in our grad students and our faculty and community members to be able to not only find out how they started their business and kind of get some insights into entrepreneurship, but also for the networking aspect.
And of course, Howard Lerner, founder of Caldy's Coffee, is one of those.
So my name's Howard Lerner, and I'm the co-founder of Caldy's Coffee Roasting Company here in St. Louis. As a journalist, I developed a real late night habit, and coffee was one of those sort of constant companions. And I think it was this sort of this romantic product that captured my imagination as a young man, and strangely that it morphed into a career. When you give someone the ability, the knowledge to grow better coffees, and when they know what you're looking for, what a market is looking for that's willing to reward quality, you can change the world. And coffee is the world. Coffee is the world's crop. Anyone who thinks that their business is just right and they don't need to do anything more, they don't need to grow it, is going to find themselves extinct soon, because the natural course of things is sort of erosion.
A lot of people overlook, this region having such people, and so Jim McKelvey was an interesting pick for me because he's more in the IT space, but he's also started companies like Third Degree Glass Factory, so he's an artist, an entrepreneur, and an IT geek.
I'm Jim McKelvey, and I'm the co-founder of Square. I always like to make things, but I didn't see myself in any one career. When I graduated, I did 3 different, totally disparate things. So I haven't ever focused on one thing, at least successfully. So I've done art, I've done engineering. These days I do a lot of speaking. There's no master plan here. I just see problems. I don't think in terms of, this is my purpose, or this is what I need to be doing, or this is, I just sit there and I say this is a problem and somebody needs to solve it. And I get very frustrated when people don't solve problems, so I usually end up volunteering and being the guy that does it. But I do end up getting a lot of stuff done. Innovation contributes more than anything. The new ideas, they tend to spark new communities, and that's what advances human society. Innovation is really, it's really where everything starts, and I feel the most interesting place to be because your world is always changing. So it's just a great way to, go out and be productive.
When a popular film accurately addresses a scientific or research issue, it can be a very effective way to provide important information to a broader audience.
In March 2013, I was in Washington, D.C. along with Dr. Joe Parks, director of MIMH. During that press conference, I met the director of the film Silver Lining Playbook, David O. Russell, which deals with matters of mental health disorders such as bipolar and obsessive compulsive disorder. And I asked him if we could show his film. Having a film that is as very poignant, that basically takes the message to audience so often can be very, very effective.
And Silver Linings Playbook sheds light on the challenges that millions of people suffering from mental health challenges, along with their families, deal with every day. In the Senate, there hadn't been a hearing on mental health since 2007 until January of this year. I think it's a critical time for us to take advantage of the moment and try to do the right thing to make mental health more available and more accessible. And so I introduced the Bipartisan Excellence in Mental Health Act along with Senator Stabenow to improve the quality of care and to expand access of treatment for up to 1.5 million Americans living with mental illness challenges.
Our campus is strong in mental and behavioral research, and this was an opportunity for us again in an effective way to take the message of mental health research to the audience.
Here's a man who really wants to be a part of his family. He wants to have loving relationships. He wants to do useful things. And how can he do that in spite of having bipolar disorder? Well, Silver Linings Playbook shows us how people can combine both social connection and family with psychiatric treatments like medication to have the successful life we all want them to have.
Our second film that we exhibited during the week was Lake Windfall, a film that was produced locally.
My name is Roger Voss, and I'm the director of Lake Windfall. The story consists of 5 different characters. They all go camping. Then they realize that there's like this natural disaster. It's like a solar flare that comes out and hits the earth, but the 5 guys, they think it's just like a weather problem. You know, all the electricity's out, the weather is really bad, there was a storm, but then that's what they thought, then they can't hear, and so everything that happens is related to that.
Inability to communicate effectively results in not just misunderstandings, but results actually in racism, hatred, and ultimately brutality. And that the only way that we as a species will survive is if we find ways to effectively communicate across the barriers that otherwise divide us. I think the hearing community needs to understand the importance of ASL as the key native language and the overarching structure within which deaf culture flourishes.
The final event of the week was an award ceremony honoring UMSL researchers, faculty, students, and staff.
We had a smaller event last year to kick off our National Academy of Inventors, and we inaugurated the first class. So we combined that with honoring our externally funded researchers, and also to kind of introduce some new awards that we have that we presented to Investigators of the Year and Inventors of the Year.
My name is Jason Atkins.
And my name is Mohit Patel. We won the Student Inventor of the Year award today here at the University of Missouri St. Louis, and it was for our invention. That the research was conducted with Dr. George Gogol's lab, and we had invented a new technology to transfer DNA to cells.
Well, initially we would look at submitting this to other researchers, people in the field that have trouble doing these transfections and transformations. This will push science forward. From that point, we'll start to look at agricultural products, different types of cell lines with the potential for gene therapy and genetic engineering.
My name is April Register. I'm an assistant professor in special education in the College of Education here at the University of Missouri St. Louis. I was very surprised. I was not expecting it, but I won Investigator of the Year award for junior faculty. I have 2 active grants right now through the university, one through the Missouri Department of Mental Health for individuals with disabilities.
I'm Matthew Heil. I'm the Director of Behavioral Informatics at the Missouri Institute of Mental Health, Associate Professor with Missouri Institute of Mental Health, and we've been with UMSL now for 2 years. I just won an award for the Senior Researcher of the Year at UMSL, which astonished me. I never would have expected this in a million years. It had to do with my work in behavioral informatics, which is developing computer systems that help give psychology to people. So they're really designed to do things like help women reduce their chances of alcohol-exposed pregnancies, to screen people for risky substance misuse to help them live healthier lifestyles, to find and help kids who have problems with mental health or social issues locate services that they want.
Well, Missouri Institute of Mental Health is all about taking new basic research learning and making it something that can benefit the communities that people live in, that can benefit people's day-to-day life. It's wonderful to have a new exciting scientific finding, but how's that going to change the way people live and make their lives better? We take basic research, we translate it into programs that improve the quality of life for individuals and make their communities more productive. And then we disseminate that across Missouri, measure to make sure it's being done correctly so it'll have maximum impact, and measure what the improvements are so people can see what they're getting when they put in the effort and the resources to make those changes. We are really deeply grateful at MIMH to have the support of the Office of Research Administration and Dr. Arshadi's guidance to really improve the lives of Missourians.
Research and innovation on this campus, obviously we all want to grow and do more important work. And we are not the only entity, obviously, in this region does that sort of work. We have other wonderful universities in the area. The key is really to conduct research that's meaningful, important, helps people's lives, and helps our students to become knowledgeable and productive people when they leave us.
I think it's really important that we realize that not every innovation is a digital innovation. Most businesses that will be successfully launched in 2013 have nothing to do with technology. People still need to buy stuff. They still need to make stuff. They still need to have things that are made by hand. They still need to grow stuff, right? Still need to fix things. That will never go away.
We want to focus on fewer projects that ultimately will have major impact. But if we have a few real important technologies introduced to the marketplace, that would be a wonderful outcome.